Hey everyone, welcome to the ATYL live stream on a Wednesday night. I feel like we're switching days like every week, but trust me, we're sticking with Wednesdays for the rest of the season for you all. So glad to see you all tuning in. Of course, you all know me. I'm Taylor Kitchen. I run above the yellow line ATYL Media, ATYL Live, and I'm joined by Dom Joseph and Adam Lucas. Gentlemen, hello. Tip of the hat. I love that. I love that.
You don't want me to do that. Got way too much going on underneath this hat.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I got a lot going on too, but heck with it. It's Wednesday. Let's get it.
It's Wednesday, yeah. So Wednesdays, we figured it was a perfect balance between, recapping the events that happened the weekend before and then previewing the weekend ahead. Of course, also Wednesday is a huge day for NASCAR news to drop. So we figured Wednesday is the day to be here. John, Ravaging Wolverine, Alex, hello, good to see you all, and welcome to everyone who is tuning in across all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Welcome. This show, we're going to call like the vibe show. We want to talk about Bowman Gray. There's so much other NASCAR news to talk about too, or I guess not a lot, but some. But really, we want to make this show kind of what you want it to be today. So use the hashtag AskATYL to give us some of the topics that you are wanting us to cover. And Adam, I appreciate in the chat. It is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So make sure to champion, celebrate all the women in this incredible industry. Let's dive right into it. Bowman Gray. Adam, thoughts?
I ate a big old pile of crow.
Yeah.
And I am happy that I did. That was a really good product that we saw Sunday night. Heck, even Saturday night, even though the first heat was a little messy, you got to have some chaos when you go to the Madhouse.
Oh, absolutely.
And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I was engaged. I was fully attentive to everything that was going on. It just felt really good to knock off the rust from a interesting season finale last year to just, getting back into the groove of things essentially. So yeah, I am really happy that I had to eat it.
Yeah, Dom, same thoughts?
Yeah, no, I got worried after Saturday having 4 heat races and 0 lead changes. I was worried. I guess my one critique would be maybe the LCQ should be a hair shorter. Because when you have that much desperation on the line, you're gonna have that many cautions. So again, it's not the driver's fault, it's the system that is to get into the race. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a short track. It should be throw it all out there to get into the show. And yeah, the main event was good. It was good. It
was great.
I appreciated the fact that, it's not like the Coliseum where it is really like a pointed corner where it's very unforgiving. Like it's very much a Martinsville-esque turn. It really flows. And it was a lot of fun to watch. And I was going to say, I was waiting to see if he would get the lead and win it before I said anything, but second place is still good. But I was going to send you guys for the second straight cup race, what is in that 12 car?
I know.
Because man, it was a lot like that Phoenix race where he just had something better than everyone else. It could have been 3 in a row because Martinsville was like that too. But it's cool to see that Blaney's got that incredible killer mentality where he just finds something that nobody else has. But Chase Elliott did a great job playing defense and working the traffic better. Managed his car better. Will be my guess is that he knew that passing is very hard there. So don't push now so that while he's using up all his stuff, you can make it last when you're lapping cars. So good race overall, a good winner. That it always helps when the most popular driver wins the race. So and it does kind of sit well that Chase Elliott won at Bowman Gray.
I'll add something to that as well. I think taking a second place in the exhibition race was a smart move, especially knowing that the most popular driver won with a very, very, very passionate fan base. Being chased out of Greensboro with pitchforks is probably not Ryan Blaney's first move. So kudos to running second. And it was good. A Chase Elliott win really it felt almost right.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like we needed that kind of a way to kind of kickstart going into Daytona.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney's run was impressive considering he started last in the main event after taking the provisional in the last chance qualifying race. That was great. I second both of you by saying, when Chase Elliott wins, the sport wins. And I mean this by everyone in the stands was cheering for the most part, right? Everyone loves Chase Elliott. And it adds to the wow factor. And I mentioned this in my full length recap of the event. So make sure to go watch that if you haven't. But when Chase Elliott's really amped about something, NASCAR is going to listen and the fans are going to listen. So hopefully this bodes well for Bowman Gray remaining in the NASCAR schedule at some capacity in the future. Obviously, we can't fit all the cars at Bowman Gray, but there was an interesting rumor that came out this week from Adam Stern. He said that NASCAR is potentially looking to move the Clash to Brazil in 2026. What do we think about moving the Clash to an international venue?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I mean, it would kind of. I just don't know. It reminds me of when they would go to Japan in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just exhibition race, why not? But that was also its own race. Like the Clash was always the season opener per se, like the welcome back race. Not really a season opener, it's the welcome back race. But the Japan events were always at the end of the year as like a salute to, hey, our season's over. Come see our champions for the year race at this track in Suzuka. So
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but if it's taking away a race weekend opportunity for fans in America, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I have the right answers for that.
Well, and I think you lead into like the identity crisis that is the Clash now. We've gone to LA, now we're like we're going to bring it back to a rooted short track in NASCAR's history. Now we're going to look to bring it maybe outside the country in 2026. Adam, what identity would you want the Clash to have like going forward? I mean, I think they're kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks right now.
I mean, this would be the opportunity to really tap into other niche markets with possibly going international. I think I'd rather see exhibition races outside of the country rather than in season races that are outside the country or in cities. There's two tracks that come to mind on this year's schedule that this could have been a great opportunity for the Clash or some type of exhibition event. Maybe another type of all-star race, or I don't know, just something. I think it's good. I think it's good for the sport. It's good to go to different places. But like me and Dom were preaching all weekend on the group chat, bring it back to Daytona.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the biggest piece of, I guess, feedback I got on my video I made this weekend, just from one, our conversations, and two, just on social media, where it's like, Bowman Gray was good, exceeded our expectations, but bring it back to Daytona. I mean, it's classic. Then you can truly have speed weeks because literally next week for Daytona, it's speed days or speed day, really. It's not a huge event anymore. So, yeah.
Now, I understand why, though, it had to change.
Oh, yeah.
It's not because we're going away from tradition. There's other obligations with powers that are outside of NASCAR's realm. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, and I only bring this up because I am like going back and watching these old races, watching the 1999 season right now. Did you know that just for the 500 car alone, not like Bud Shootout or anything like that, Taylor, did you know that Bill Elliott changed 13 engines for Daytona in 1999?
Did not know that. God, that's crazy.
A lot of money went into those cars.
Man.
It's ridiculous. One engine change when I was growing up was a big deal. God almighty.
And you think about like the amount of cash that goes behind bringing a car to Daytona for the Clash. I mean, considering there's going to be wrecks, there's going to be, back then it was engine changes, right? Somebody mentioned here, I think it was, John mentioned the other thing that made Bowman Gray better than LA was the fact that the teams didn't have to worry about a long and lengthy travel 2 weeks before Daytona. You stay in the
there were so many open cars there, which was cool.
Exactly.
Like, it gives meaning to let those short track stars come out and give it a chance because the teams were willing to bring a car because it's an hour away.
And Thorne brings up a good point about international races for the Clash. It said, I mean, he said, like, does this screw over the smaller teams, the cost just of travel alone? And part of my thought process was you would hope that with a charter agreement, or with the charter agreement that's now, of course, in the active federal antitrust lawsuit that we're not going to get into on this show today. You know, you would hope that these teams are getting reimbursed properly through, you know, media rights stuff and things like that to be able to do this travel that NASCAR is wanting them to do. Now, there are smaller teams that are chartered, but there's also teams that run open cars that are smaller that can't afford that, which is limiting for sure. So you would think if NASCAR is going to take these teams internationally, you would assume that they will give the teams the resources they need to be successful financially, is the hope. Or I guess not the assumption, it's the hope, is what I should say. Let me specify that. So that's a good call out there. There was other questions about like the tire that they brought to the Clash. It was the same as Martinsville in the spring. Alex said, do you think that what we saw could help short track racing this season? I think overall the product was better than where we started last year, right?
It was good. I would be hesitant because it's such a small it's a quarter mile. So like you can't run away from anybody. Like they're going to get strung out at Richmond.
It's deceptive.
So be careful with an early judgment. I mean, I guess the tell-all will be Bristol. I feel like Richmond, it's just big enough that it doesn't race like a short track.
Right.
So same with Iowa. So
and I'll say for Martinsville in the spring, we all remember how boring that race was, right? So again, like you said, Dom, it's a little, don't judge too soon. It is a little deceiving with how short that track is. Adam, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would need a full race distance to get a real gauge of, is this the right direction we're going in or not? I mean, what we saw, it looked better, but comparing something that was like 2 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10, that's not much of a difference. So
right.
I need to see more. I need to see more before I can make a fair assessment of it.
Yeah, and this is also a fair question too, and then we'll move on from the Bowman Gray conversations because I think we've covered it pretty well, and I think overall we really liked what we saw. Well, I guess to clarify that, because I don't want to put words in y'all's mouths, but better than LA, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
LA was a good experiment, but Bowman Gray totally knocked it out of the park.
It did. Do you want to see Bowman Gray as the Clash race again, or do you think they could move as the All-Star race? Take out North Wilkesboro?
I mean, I don't know.
Because it's a valid question.
It is, because they are very similar in ways. And I can understand that question coming up because Joey led every lap last year.
Yes.
That doesn't go well for race fans when one guy dominates the show, hence my reservations after the heats. I don't know. I feel like because North Wilkesboro's got to seat more people.
It does.
Thinking about the business side of it, if you're thinking about the All-Star race, it's a big ticket event. You're going to want to sell as many tickets as possible for that. So the unfortunate limitations of Bowman Gray is that it can only seat so many people. Right.
It was great to see it though, standing room only, like packed.
Oh, it was
great.
That was awesome.
If you're going to see a non-points cup race, that's perfect. Like that attendance there would be perfect for it.
100%. Cool. All right. So Bowman Gray is success. Talked about kind of where we want to see it in the future on the schedule, future of the Clash, etc. Let's move on to the future of the Xfinity Series because after this year, it will no longer be the Xfinity Series. It'll be a different series that we don't know about yet, but we have some ideas of what we would like it to be. And because I'm wearing headphones, I cannot join my my fellow co-hosts in doing what they're doing right now. But we want to bring the Busch Series back. This is all that we want, and this is what you guys want too. Aaron, can you use all your ATYL media powers to bring the Busch Series name back? This is
manifest it.
This has been your guys' campaign since 2021 on this show, on this platform. This is all we want.
This has been our campaign since the Busch Series left.
Yes, Fair.
Before we could even crack a cold one, we've been wanting to bring back the Busch Series.
It needs to come back. And the reason behind this right now is that the Xfinity Series is changing, or I guess Xfinity, I should say, is changing their partnership model a little bit. Comcast, Xfinity. They're doing an Xfinity Fastest Lap partnership across the top 3 NASCAR National Series, where after each race, whoever turns the fastest lap gets a driver and team points. That will maybe help, maybe not. The goal is the points will matter more. But because they're shifting their partnership model, that means that it will be whatever series it is in 2026. So
bring back the Grand National branding.
Honestly, though, yeah,
its own identity. You have the Cup Series, you have the Truck Series, you have the Grand National Series. Just makes sense
because it doesn't have an identity.
Sponsors are listening out there. It's got to be your sponsor, Grand National Series.
Yes,
that's what it needs to be.
Facts,
for sure. And I think like it is fun to make the jabs of like Busch. It's got to be the Busch Series because if Craftsman can come back, Busch can too. But like it's the fact that they're a premier partner of the sport and they are still so heavily invested in NASCAR. It's like the opportunity is real here.
Yes,
it could happen. And again, like I've even said, like if you want to stick to pushing Busch Light, like we can call them the Busch Lights. Like, there's Indy Next used to be the Indy Lights. I mean, we can do this. There are so many different ways we can market this, and just to think of all the content that could come out of Busch Grand National coming back, or the Busch Light Series, whatever it is, and just thinking of all those Oreo cars, the Winn-Dixie car.
There's so much potential.
The Baby Ruth #1. I mean, there's so many iconic cars.
Are memorable and endless and timeless.
Darlington Xfinity race will be a banger because it's going to be all Busch Series cars. We've got the 8 font back. The opportunities are endless.
For real. I mean, literally, just everything that's happened the past few years has just built up to this. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen because I don't know that, but it has to happen.
We're a nostalgia-driven generation. We need the good old days. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring back the Busch Series.
Speaking of that, to those of you who tune in each week and plan to tune in next week, I will be off the stream because I will be in Daytona covering a 16-hour media day, which means Dom and Adam will be taking over that stream, which means the long-awaited Busch Series show, I guess, is happening next week. So I trust you too.
Could be. I mean, next week is the Daytona 500, so
yeah,
maybe a little Busch.
Our Daytona Xfinity coverage may be solely Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart stats, but
yeah, we'll still have some general stats to cover, but you know the opportunity's there. So I guess stay tuned to see what these two gentlemen do with that show. So I guess a little teaser of maybe a future stream to come. Who knows? But yeah, could be fun. So stay tuned for that. But speaking of Busch Light, Busch Beer, Ross Chastain will be in, and already has been in, a commercial for Busch Light that will air in 11 markets during the Super Bowl this weekend, which is really, really cool. It aired during the Clash, and I actually pointed it out on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God, that's Ross Chastain. And that was like a really fun ad. But that made me like want to ask the question to you two and then to the chat. What's your favorite NASCAR commercial? We need more of them, 100%. But what's your favorite of like all time?
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go first on this one.
So there are a lot of like the Nextel commercials were always really good and whatnot. I think about the Napa ones too with Truex.
I was gonna say the Napa ones.
Like, those ones are funny. The one that makes me laugh every time is when the guy is channel surfing and he has the race on for a minute and then clicks off of it and it cuts to Kevin Harvick. What are you doing? I just threw my car through the infield at 200 miles an hour. He's like, I can go back. It's too late now. You missed it. You watch. I'm going to win this thing. Like, I just love that one. Is really funny.
Man, I don't know. Like, The Michael Waltrip Dale Jr. Napa commercials were classics, but the one I always go back to is anything that had Casey Kane with Allstate. Those ones were always funny, where the ladies are just oohing and on over him. I mean, he was a heartthrob back then. Heck,
yeah.
My mom liked him. And then when Dale Jr. switched to Hendrick, she was a Hendrick guy. But yeah, the Casey Kane ones were always a good one.
Yeah, I will say, I think the first NASCAR commercial that I really saw that stuck with me was like with the kids who all had like the remote controls for the cars for the drivers.
Oh yeah, the Toyota one, yeah.
Yeah. That was really good. And then the Chase Elliott one where they're like in like Napa headquarters trying to figure out like how do we advertise really Chase Elliott? Like that's a classic one.
Gnomes are magic.
That's so good.
Oh no, I love when it's his the tire pressure gauge.
Yeah.
Just 42 pounds. He's hard selling everything to him.
Yeah. And Elliott's just like, no. Like, I'm not doing that. Oh, the Mobile One commercials with Kevin Harvick.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Oh, which one?
Dale Jarrett. He's gonna race the truck. I'm not gonna race the truck. I'm not gonna race the truck, man. Those were good.
I think when Jamie McMurray is doing the it's almost like the walkie-talkie on his phone.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
And yeah, he's like, that's not magic. This is magic.
Yeah.
Let a hand. Give me a bunny. The guy runs up and grabs the bunny and gives it to him.
We need more commercials. Like, I get it. Like, the only ones I could think of in like recent history is like that nice PJs, the Denny Hamlin one. And then of course Denny's done some like other ones with Mavis, which were good. And
the Sponsifier ones.
Sponsifiers were great.
Yeah.
Of course, the one that I always use when the girl designs Denny's car and you hear the horn and she walks out, it's Denny time.
Oh, good. The amount of times we've used that GIF or the meme or whatever.
Every time I picked them to win, I would send that.
Oh my gosh.
Or the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide with John Cena.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I would love to just make a video about NASCAR commercials. I know everyone else has done it, but like, they're just so good to just dissect, you know?
Do you remember it was a Gillette one when they're taking calls and the guy's like, my girlfriend says I need to get off the couch and get in shape. And they're like giving like suggestions. The woman was like, how about you run around the couch every time we pit? And Harvick goes, how about trying a different girlfriend?
They had character to them. That's all I want.
No vanilla. Even the vanilla driver in the commercial, he had personality in the commercials.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
Exactly. Oh yeah, the Nextel commercial where Elliott Sadler is giving Jimmy driving advice. That's good. That's good.
I'm gonna need it again. Guy walks up with the cup. I'm so sorry. What are you saying? What were you saying?
Oh yeah, the I'm Jimmy Johnson boom confetti.
Boom confetti.
It's a good one.
Yeah, we need more commercials. I like the one with Ross Chastain that they had during the Clash. And of course, like I said, we'll air in 11 different markets during the Super Bowl this weekend. Just, again, personality. Ross is nothing against the other drivers here, but he's one of the more personable drivers that you'll talk to and meet. What you see on camera is what you're going to get behind the camera. He's funny, just grounded.
Taylor, I'm surprised you didn't mention Saved at the Pump.
That commercial was so annoying.
It's because they overplayed the hell out of it.
Overplayed it, but it was.
You're telling me he saved at the pump?
He saved at the pump.
He saved at the pump.
That's a good one. Yeah. So many commercials that could be made, should be made, and that have been made that are great. Speaking of like, I guess commercials, kind of some sponsorship news. Interstate Batteries extended their partnership with Joe Gibbs Racing, but with Ty Gibbs and Christopher Bell. So interesting here. Nothing that I saw, at least, that involves Denny with this for right now. There were comments earlier, I guess this past weekend at the Clash where, Denny's hauler looks a little bare without FedEx on it. And the fact that he's having a very hard time coming by sponsors is concerning. It feels like deja vu a little bit for Joe Gibbs Racing. It's kind of not good.
If you've ever seen Denny's car or hauler last year,
Yeah.
It was here last year too.
It was.
Last year was the first year where it wasn't like the FedEx box carrying the car. So yeah, last year was the big shift. So like this year seeing it obviously without FedEx is very sad, but like last year was like transition year where it's like FedEx is not the number one, and it is this your sponsor name here was really the theme of that hauler last year. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I think I took a picture of it last year.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. Dear God.
Although his car for Daytona looks pretty cool. It's reminiscent of the design that they have with the sports clips and last year's FedEx car. I give it a solid B for schemes.
That's fair.
Does look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the national debt relief.
It's just not the same.
That's why I will say though, like the one positive that's coming out of this is the fact now that as a Joey fan, like I'm very much championing every time the Shell Pennzoil car is on the track.
Oh yeah.
To celebrate that sponsorship while it's there, because nothing lasts forever.
Nope. Just like when Jeff Gordon had the great transition from DuPont to Chromax Pro to Exalta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was an odd, strange year, 2013.
Yeah. It's
that
sponsors are changing. It does look good. I will say it's good use of space, patriotic, fun.
Very Olympics looking type of car.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been perfect last year.
It would have. Yeah, this empty space. This is the empty space I can't stand. I wish something was here, but you know, we can't always win, and that's okay. I will say I can appreciate, and I understand this is like with sponsorship obligations and who's paying for what part on the car, but I do appreciate that the national debt relief like lettering is not on the quarter panel because that would have just gotten squished together. So I appreciate that. I will give it that. Tyler Pennell might have something to say about that. In case you guys don't follow him. He does like phenomenal paint scheme reviews every week on TikTok. We did a collab together, ranking the worst schemes. I'm curious what he would give this one, but I mean, it's again not bad.
It's a good one.
Solid.
There's other NASCAR news. Last piece of NASCAR news I wanted to talk about as I change out this image so you all can see what I'm wanting to look at. Awesome. Okay. The last piece of NASCAR news is changing in the wording of the rule book regarding the I guess the rule about manipulation of the race. So I wanted to mention that to you all real quick. This was a change that NASCAR made today because the wording is more inclusive, not just towards the drivers, but literally everybody in NASCAR. So it says, any member who attempts to improperly influence the outcome of the event or encourages, persuades, or induces others to do so shall be subject to penalties as outlined in section whatever of the rulebook. Prohibited actions include, but are not limited to, intentional planning or conduct that prioritizes objectives other than achieving the best possible competitive result for their team. That whole last sentence is what NASCAR added. They changed any competitor to any member, and they changed the rule, or they changed the word manipulate to improperly influence. So they're really broadening what this means. They also changed the wording of manipulate the finishing positions of to just persuading the change of the outcome of a race. So they've made it very clear what their stance is based off of Martinsville last year. Obviously, that was a whole nightmare for NASCAR to deal with. So again, making this clear, they also specified penalties for the OEMs and penalty options in ranges, depending on how severe their, I guess, involvement is with some of these penalties if they do help manipulate the outcome of an event. And I think coming up with Daytona, when you have these teams having to work together, these OEMs having to work together, we're going to figure out the line, right? You know, what is working together? What is manipulation? And I think Martinsville, that was very clear. It was manipulation or messing with the outcome of a race. But do you guys feel that specific wording, do you think will set a boundary? Do you think it helps a little bit?
I'll be honest. It sounds like they have finally taken verbiage from other professional sports leagues across the country and put it into the actual NASCAR rule book.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm sure they had help with this to make sure, like,
it sounds very similar to
any disaster possible here.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. A good thing.
Yes.
It sounds very familiar to some stuff that some of us have to do for other jobs outside of racing that are in sports. So it sounds very on par with general across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I like how generalized, I guess, this rule now is. It covers all bases, not just the drivers, but your crew chiefs, maybe your team owners, the OEMs. Like, it covers everybody, which I think is what is needed. And Adam, like you said, it's pretty similar to what you would see in some other sports as well. So kind of NASCAR taking a rule out of somebody else's rule book. But I like this change a lot. Again, this was new as of like 3 hours ago, I think, this change. But a welcome one nonetheless, for sure. What other questions, topics do you guys have for us? Leave them in the comment section. While you all leave that. Yes?
There was another paint scheme reveal.
Oh no, what did I miss? What did I miss? Whose was it?
The defending champion.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Defending.
Okay, hold up. Because it was so good. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up.
It does look really, really good.
Now, do we like it better on the Indy car, or do we like it on?
I like it better on the Cup car.
Okay, interesting. Okay, hold up.
It looks really good on both.
It does. Okay, I got this.
If it can, produce and maybe win.
I will be getting this car. It looks so good.
This is going to be a race win and or just regular standard. It's just really not. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's good. There we go.
I can already see how you could change it. You could put the yellow on the front and then the red on the side, and it still would look hot.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But yeah, it's clean, 100% A+, knocked it out of the park. Good job, Penske.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing looks sick.
And Joey's just his standard scheme this season. I like it. I like the red.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, so far, because for me, Joey Logano's paint schemes, I mean, they're basic, they work, they're fine, right? This is great. This is, I think, the first paint scheme he's had in a while where I'm actually like, you know what? I feel good about buying that diecast. Like, it's literally, I'm like, it looks so good. And then I have,
it looks right.
It looks great. Yeah, because I don't know. I think it looks really good. But yeah, I totally forgot this was unveiled today, but it looks really good.
It does. Yeah. I think part of me, the white on the back is what sells it for me.
Yeah,
I think it's really, really good. It's like it worked out perfectly that the 22 sits right where the yellow is. So like keeps you with what the tradition is for that car, but the red roof, the red nose.
Good. I think what throws me off with this one is because, like, with the Indy car, you have 3 defined parts of that car, right?
Yes. Yeah.
With this NASCAR car, there's not 3 like pieced out defined parts. So you have the ombre, which looks good here, but I like it more on Joseph Newgarden's car. But nonetheless, it still looks fantastic. It looks fantastic.
Something that I really like though about this car, and those of you that remember 2014 during the chase, we got the yellow numbers back on the roof.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
That was so cool when they did that.
Beauty.
So cool.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing this up. I totally forgot about this one, but I was ecstatic when this was released today. So lovely. Let's bring that up. So if you guys have any other talking points, use the hashtag ATYL. In the meantime, I want to tell you about some diecast stands up on the screen so you all know. Here, I don't want to do that. Here we go. There we go. All right.
An advertisement.
You can see Adam's beautiful face again. So Benzik Designs has these incredible diecast stands. If you guys are like diecast lovers like we are, you need a really good way to display your diecasts that save you space. This has saved me a lot of space. All these 4-tiered display stands, they're all 3D printed. They all fit together super well. So if you use the promo code ATYL 2025, you get 20% off your order. If you scan the QR code right there to check them out. We also have them on the ATYL website, abovetheline.com. They're linked in the description below if you're watching this on Facebook and YouTube. But this has been a game changer for me. Matt, that works at Benzik Designs, or he is the owner and founder of Benzik Designs. He's also working on 3-tier displays, wall-mounted displays. He'll also do some custom orders as well. He's actually working on like a racetrack for me to display like several 124s, and I'm so excited about that. If you guys follow me on Patreon, I'll post a promo, or not a promo, a preview photo of what he's making for me there. But make sure to check out Benzik Designs for all of your diecast stand needs. They are the official diecast display partner of ATYL Media, and we couldn't be happier. So I'll leave that on the screen for a second. I guess the thing that I get nervous about going into this season is there's going to be so many fire paint schemes, you guys, and we're going to have to pre-order a lot of diecast. And I'm so scared for my wallet. Oh.
Hey.
He appears to be a Booker fan.
I think I need another bookcase.
Yeah, I was going to say this isn't looking good. I'm going to have to get a shelf that goes across this wall just to display more. And that's, I guess, going to be okay. We're going to live with it. It'll be fine. We'll be okay. Right, guys? Right.
This is like a quarter of the Gordon cars I have that's over here.
That's crazy.
And then like a fraction of the Earnhardt cars down here. I have every 91 car that's been made for Project 91 now.
That's badass.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
that's good.
When are they going to unveil Elio's car? Is that like coming up?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
You would think, right?
Yeah. I'd like to get my pre-order in.
Yeah. So hopefully that happens by the end of this week, maybe. I know some teams like wait until like the week of, and you're like, all right, that's fine. But yeah. Oh, this is a good question. How rogue will Adam and Dom go when the Charlotte Motor Speedway tents this year?
That.
It's good.
There's a few things that have to happen in order for me to have a record-breaking assault. And a lot of it's out of my control right now. But if things come to fruition, I might have to bring 2 backpacks.
It could get bad.
We also might have to get Dom a pair of gloves.
I can be honest. I've been in the red since 2022.
I feel that on a spiritual level.
I went into the tents with Adam and Taylor in 2022. And my body and finances have never recovered.
Your hands had like blood blisters from how heavy the bags were.
Yeah, it was.
I bought a lot of cars.
Yes.
We bought way too many cars that weekend. We got a lot.
We bought too many. I think we bought just enough to satisfy that itch.
Yeah. Was it 2023 where we went overboard, or was that last year? I think you went overboard, Adam.
23, we went overboard.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
That's when Dom showed off all the cars to the fam.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
It got messy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I know it's bad because I don't remember what I got in 2023. I had to remember. Yeah, this guy was in the 2023 poll.
Mm-hmm.
I have the other one that you wanted, but I snagged it before you could.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's up there. There it is.
So I got a text from my dad a few weeks ago where he was like, he was watching one of my reels I had on Instagram, and he goes, "Hey, I think you got a problem." And I was like, "Oh, he's going to talk about like, I have a problem with like just, my amount of social media usage, whatever." And then I'm like looking at the video and I'm like, "Oh, my diecasts are very prevalent." I'm like, "It's the diecast, isn't it?" He goes, "Yeah, I think you have an addiction." I'm like, "I think I do." So thank you both for this, because this came from you guys, really.
You're welcome.
Oh, goodness. But we love diecast collecting. It's awesome.
See, the thing is, though, you graduated from 164 to 124 faster than any student in the history of this college.
I'm honored.
And that's not a good thing. That's not a good
Hey.
thing.
It took me over 20 years, Taylor. It only took you about 2 months.
$10 to $60 is a jump you don't want to make.
Oh my goodness.
Once you go down the path, there's no turning back.
I know. It's scary. It really is scary. But here we are.
I got the Bristol sweep in 2023.
You did?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Bristol sweep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We were sworn to secrecy about it.
I was bad. I was really bad.
I won't even bring up that Casey Kane Budweiser car either. The race.
Oh my gosh.
I do still. Yeah. I do still have that. A lot of them have been sold away to recover financially, but I do still have that one.
I can quit diecasting.
No.
This is Ravaging Wolverine's one-liner of the show.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see the comments. They won't pop up.
That'll never happen.
I got you. Yeah.
Ravaging Wolverine. I've said that to myself and to my parents maybe 4 times in my life.
I think you sent that to us in a text message too.
Oh yeah.
And we all just sent back laughing emojis like
sure,
yeah, right. The Roval's in 2 weeks, bud.
No, the best. So if we're gonna tell diecast stories, we may as well just go down this rabbit hole now. So when I still lived in Ohio, this family was selling off their like grandfather's collection of diecast after he passed away. And my dad mentioned it to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go and check it out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Thinking I'm just gonna pick through the ones that I want and then we'll head out of there. What I didn't know is we were walking away with all of it. That wasn't my plan. That's just how it ended with my dad. And so my collection went from 300 cars to about 1,400 overnight.
Oh my God.
And I told myself, I was like, okay, so now I need to figure out what I have here because there's so much of it. So I have to log through all of it. I kid you not, I was in the garage, tables of cars everywhere. I think there were, the big Tupperware boxes, like bins. They're about this tall. I think we had 15 of those, 15 or 20 of those. And just, I remember like having a moment where like I'm on the 4th box and I'm writing down what car it is. And I just like look up and just look around and I'm surrounded.
Oh no.
And it was at that moment, I was like, I've bitten off more than I can chew in this world.
There's a moment you realize you're in too deep and you're like, oh, that was it.
There were probably 11 Ricky Rudd 1998 Tide 164s in there. The same exact car, same exact packaging. There were 11 of them for no reason.
That's crazy to me. Like when you'll get like a mass collection from somebody and they'll have like 20 of the same car. I'm like, how did this happen? How did we get here?
There are a handful of cars from that collection that survived that I still have. I know one of them is a 143 of Earnhardt's Coca-Cola car, the number 3, and then it is his Daytona 500 164, and it's the packaging where he's doing the donuts in the grass.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So I hung on to that one. That one was really sick.
Oh goodness, guys. I think we'll call it right here. Cause I know there's a big show next week for us previewing the 500, just talking about everything that has to go into that race and so much more. So we had some fun.
Adam and I pushing a political agenda.
It will be a 500 preview show, but it will definitely be a little bit more than that too. So make sure you guys tune in next week. Give Adam and Dom your full attention and support during their show next week. It should be a fun one. I trust them.
We're gonna bring back Bush.
This is our campaign. We're gonna raise money to bring back the Bush series. We're asking for $200 million. And it's
199 million of that goes to just buying diecast. The other million will actually put towards the cause.
Yeah. Just as a heads up,
So if you're out there, if you have any diecast
you
want to part with, send it to Taylor. She'll get it to us.
Yes, yeah. I have a PO box. Make sure to just send some of that my way. Anywho, joking aside, we appreciate you guys joining us for our first Wednesday live stream of the year. Of course, go to AboveTheYellowLine.com to know more about us, what we do, other ways to support us. I do have a Patreon up there for exclusive content. You guys see me go into all these race shops and things every single week. I put some exclusive content on that Patreon page, as well as, group live streams and things like that we can do there. So make sure to check that out. AboveTheYellowLine.com also has great links to our partners where you can look at our promo codes, learn more about them. They're also linked in the description below. Like I said, Benzik Designs. Use the code ATYL 2025 to get 20% off your order. It's well worth it, so highly recommend checking them out. Link is in our bio to where you can find Benzik Designs. And then, of course, to our other partners for this season, On Brand. You guys know Rob Branding. He's awesome. His designs are also awesome. He created our new templates for race winners, the results of races, like all those new graphic templates. That was him, and they look sick. So thanks to Rob for supporting us, The Bright Mentality, Goat Locker Racing, and of course, like I said, Benzik Designs. We appreciate all of them for supporting us. So please support them the way that they support us. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to this live stream on a Wednesday night. And the boys will see you next Wednesday. And I will, I guess, see you online while I'm at Daytona. I'll be posting all these updates and things like that. Also, follow Racing America for more NASCAR content. I'm in a few projects of theirs that they have coming up, interviewing some pretty cool people. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for myself, Adam Lucas, and Dom Joseph. We will